Hi, I'm Muhammed. I'm Hamdan, and you're watching Nightline. The top stories. Haniyeh assassination. Malaysia demands for swift justice. And Putrajaya urges for Meta explanations over removal of Instagram post on PM's meeting with Haniyeh. Good morning. We'll begin with this headlining story. Immediate investigations must be carried out over the assassination of former Palestinian Prime Minister Ismail Haniyeh so that those responsible can be brought to justice. Government spokesman Fahmi Fadil said the cabinet, following its weekly meeting, has condemned the assassination of the Hamas chief in Tehran, Iran, and it stands in solidarity with Palestinians. Fahmi, in a statement, stressed that the Malaysian government will continue voicing out support and cooperating with other countries in its efforts to push for Palestinians to be freed from any forms of oppression. The cabinet also expressed condolences to the family of Haniyeh. In the meantime, Wisma Putra, in a statement, said the incident underscores the urgent need for de-escalation and reinforces the necessity for all parties to engage in constructive dialogue and pursue peaceful resolutions. It also urged all parties to exercise restraint while facts surrounding the assassination are being established. The statement also confirmed that members of the Malaysian delegation were safe in Tehran, including Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul, who was a representative at the inauguration of President Masoud Pezeshkian. Wisma Putra also reaffirmed Malaysia's commitment to support the Palestinian struggle for justice and self-determination. Malaysia also called for an immediate and thorough investigation into the assassination of the Hamas leader. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim earlier contacted senior Hamas official Dr. Basim Naim to express the sympathy and undivided support of the Malaysian people for the struggle of the Palestinian people to obtain an independent state.
Be assured that we are as strong as ever in our support, our commitment for an independent Palestine, and we will continue to do our best.
Anwar added that the assassination is very tragic and cruel. It also clearly aimed to fail the negotiations to end the cruelty of the Zionist regime in Gaza, which has claimed more than 40,000 lives.
I don't know how to express, but we happened to be sitting in the cabinet, and the entire cabinet members were shocked at this madness of the Israeli Zionist regime going after people in their bedrooms and torturing people and thinking that they can end this war and aggression in this manner.
Dr. Basim, meanwhile, expressed confidence in the strong support of the Malaysian people in supporting the Palestinian struggle.
I will convey the message for the family and for the movement, and really we are in a strong belief that our brothers and sisters in Malaysia and you, Your Excellency, Brother Anwar, is a strong and committed supporter for our just cause.
Meanwhile, political leaders and officials around the world condemned the assassination of Haniyeh, raising fears of wider escalation in a region shaken by Israel's war on Gaza. Top Palestinian officials, including President Mahmoud Abbas, condemned the assassination, calling it a dangerous development. Abbas also called on the Palestinian people to unite, be patient and steadfast in the face of the Israeli occupation. Meanwhile, Secretary-General of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization, Hussein al-Sheikh, has also firmly condemned the killing. In a post on X, he said the committee strongly denounces and condemns the assassination of the national leader. Sharing the same thought was Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He condemned the assassination, saying it was a despicable attempt to undermine the Palestinian cause, the glorious resistance of Gaza, and the rightful struggle of the Palestinian brothers, aiming to demoralize, intimidate, and suppress them. Erdogan concluded with a prayer for Haniyeh, extending condolences to his family and the Palestinian people. Moscow also condemned the killing of the leader and called on all parties to refrain from steps that could tip the Middle East into a major war. Deputy spokesman of Russia's foreign ministry, Andrei Nastasin, said it was obvious that the organizers of the political assassination were aware of the dangerous consequences this action is fraught with for the entire region. Hamas, in an immediate response, said the assassination of Haniyeh is a cowardly act that will not go unpunished. It added that the assassination aims to break the will of Hamas and the will of the Palestinian people. It also stressed that Hamas is an institution and not persons, and that the group will continue on the path regardless of the sacrifices. In the meantime, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has sworn revenge on Israel over the killing of the Hamas political chief in a shock assassination that risks escalating the conflict. In a statement, Khamenei said it was Iran's duty to avenge the assassination of Haniyeh, who was in Tehran for the inauguration of President Masoud Pezeshkian. He said the criminal and terrorist Zionist regime martyred their guests in their house and made them bereaved, adding that it also prepared the ground for a harsh punishment for itself. Iran has now announced 3 days of public mourning across the country as Khamenei offered his condolences to Haniyeh's family and Hamas. Meanwhile, Hamas announced that the funeral ceremony for Haniyeh will be held in Tehran on Thursday. His body will then be transferred to Doha, Qatar, where he will be buried on Friday. Haniyeh was killed after the building where he was staying was struck by a pre-dawn Zionist airstrike on Wednesday. The strike occurred just after Haniyeh had attended the inauguration of Iran's new president, Masoud Pezeshkian, in Tehran. Israel has refused to comment, but its government press office had published on its Facebook account announcing the assassination of Haniyeh. The post had the word "eliminated" written across Haniyeh's face. The image, however, was removed after a few minutes. Born in a refugee camp in Gaza in 1963, Haniyeh was a key member of Hamas from its inception. He was imprisoned by Israel a number of times and at one point was expelled to Lebanon for 6 months. In 2003, he survived an assassination attempt by Israel along with Hamas's founder. 3 years later, he was briefly Palestinian prime minister after Hamas won elections, but a violent rift between Hamas and Fatah followed a year later. He was elected head of Hamas's political bureau in 2017. However, in recent years, he lived in exile, moving between Turkey and Qatar. Widely regarded as a pragmatist, Haniyeh had maintained good relations with other rival Palestinian groups. And in a related matter, the Prime Minister's Office PMO slammed Meta, Instagram's parent company, for removing a post from the social media platform that featured a meeting between Anwar and Haniyeh in Qatar in May. It said the action clearly reflects a bias against the situation in Palestine and its leaders. In a social media post, PMO also shared screenshots showing that Instagram had taken down the post on Tuesday because the account had shared or sent symbols, praised or supported people and organizations that were defined as dangerous or followed them. On May 14th, Anwar had met with a Hamas delegation led by Haniyeh during his official visit to Qatar. Anwar said that at the meeting he conveyed his condolences on the death of Haniyeh's family members who were killed in a bombing by Israel. He also said he was briefed on the situation in Gaza and Rafah. This is the second time Meta removed content related to the meeting. Previously, Facebook posts covering Anwar's meeting with the Hamas leader were also removed. However, Meta later restored the posts, which they said were taken down in error. Though among 3 detained for alleged bribes worth over 100 million ringgit. These and more when we return. Uncovering Malaysia's dynamic approach to transform its industrial sector, breakthrough policy reforms and cutting-edge digital innovations. And how will these strategies propel the nation to new heights of global competitiveness and sustainable growth? Money Matters with Chairman of Khazanah Research Institute, Dr. Nungsari Ahmad Radi, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Menarik sepanjang minggu.
Kes orang hilang semakin membimbangkan. Apakah langkah perlu kita lakukan?
Adakah HIV masih menjadi ancaman kepada masyarakat?
Buli cyber, apakah kesannya terhadap mangsa?
Minyak masih terpakai, inisiatif yang penting untuk menjaga ekosistem.
Soal wang membincangkan kos pengurusan jenazah.
MHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi, eksklusif di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Ira, perasan tak kita ni selalu suka jaga dan puaskan hati orang lain?
Betul juga tu, apa kata kita sayangi dan jadi diri sendiri.
Terung ada macam-macam jenis tau.
Jom kita masak terung.
Sekarang ni ada banyak kejadian yang tidak diingini berlaku.
Ayuh kita persiapkan diri untuk elak tragedi.
Campur tangan orang lain boleh rosakkan hubungan.
Pasti ada cara untuk elakkannya.
Dalam rumah tangga, kenalah sama-sama memberi dan menerima.
Barulah rumah tangga bahagia.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream sekarang di Tonton. Wanita hari ini.
Welcome back. A former officer with the title of Datuk from a wholly owned subsidiary of Syarikat Perumahan Negara Berhad SPNB was arrested along with two others by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC over an alleged bribery linked to a housing project in Kuantan, Pahang. MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner Datuk Sri Ahmad Kushairi Yahya confirmed the arrests of the suspects under the MACC Act 2009. The suspects, aged between 40 and 60, were reportedly detained at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya between 6:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. last Monday. According to an unnamed MACC source, the suspects allegedly received about 110 million ringgit in bribes from a construction company to bypass the SPNB board and approve an additional development deal. The agreement reportedly contained unfair clauses, causing SPNB to lose tens of millions of ringgit. One suspect has been released on MACC bail after his statement was recorded. A 5-day remand order for the suspects was issued by Magistrate Irza Zulaika Burhanuddin until August 3rd. In Johor, the Johor Bahru Sessions Court has directed that Maria Radin Imran, one of 5 family members accused of attacking the Ulu Tiram police station on May 17th, be hospitalized for treatment of depression. Judge Rasidah Rosli issued the order following a request from Defence Counsel Faisal Rahman, who noted symptoms of depression in the 19-year-old during a meeting in late June. Maria is currently held at Simpang Renggam prison. She also requested a new mentioned date as the terrorism expert report was still pending. Judge Rasidah set September 2nd for the next mention to review the terrorism expert's report and transfer the case to the Kuala Lumpur High Court. On June 19th, the 5 accused were charged in the Sessions Court with 9 separate charges, including promoting terrorist acts by instilling the ideology of the Islamic State IS group. In Negeri Sembilan, the coroner's court in Seremban ruled that the cause of death of Nur Rania Ashifa Yusuris, known as Baby Shifa, who was found unconscious at her daycare centre in Sendayan 2 years ago, was due to pressure on the neck. When delivering the decision on Wednesday, Coroner Datin Surita Budin said Baby Shifa's death was not an accident but resulted from being left unattended in a cradle. The court ruled that Baby Shifa's death was caused by pressure on her neck, consistent with the weight of her body when her neck became stuck in the cradle's cloth. The court found that based on witness statements, the death was not an accident but a result of negligence. Sarita added that there is strong evidence showing that the deceased was hanging in the cradle due to the actions or negligence of the caretaker who left her in the cradle without proper supervision for a reasonable period. She said this situation ultimately led to the baby's death, constituting an unlawful act. Previously, it was reported that the 15-month-old baby was found unconscious in a cradle in a nursery centre room in Taman Nusari Aman, Bandar Sri Sendayan on February 22, 2022. In Kedah, 2 Thai nationals on Wednesday claimed trial at the Alor Sessions Court on separate charges of unlawful possession of 160 litres of subsidised petroleum without a valid licence at the Durian Burung Malaysia-Thailand border checkpoint in Padang Terap on Saturday. The accused, Pachari Hama and Abdullah Salising, aged 38 and 21 respectively, from Songkhla, Thailand, entered the plea when the charges were read before Judge Nur Zaihan Muhammad Ali. Pachari is charged with having in her possession scheduled control goods, namely 60 litres of petrol. The petrol was found in a modified fuel tank of a Malaysian registered vehicle. Meanwhile, Abdullah is charged with having in his possession scheduled control goods, namely 100 litres of petrol, found in a modified tank hidden under the rear seat of a Malaysian registered vehicle. They allegedly committed the offences on July 29th at a roadblock near the Malaysia-Thailand border checkpoint in Durian Burung, Padang Terap. The charges were framed under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. Both face a fine of up to 1 million ringgit or imprisonment of not more than 3 years, or both upon conviction. The court fixed bail at 10,000 ringgit each for both accused, with 2 sureties, and set September 4th for mention. Over 50 injured as far-right protesters target mosque. News from the Foreign Front when we come back.
Menarik sepanjang minggu.
Kes orang hilang semakin membimbangkan. Apakah langkah perlu kita lakukan?
Adakah HIV masih menjadi ancaman kepada masyarakat?
Buli cyber, apakah kesannya terhadap mangsa?
Minyak masih terpakai, inisiatif yang penting untuk menjaga ekosistem.
Soal wang membincangkan kos pengurusan jenazah.
MHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi eksklusif di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton. Diving deep into the business world
with expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Onto the foreign front, a large crowd of protesters clashed with police in the United Kingdom on Tuesday, just hours after a vigil was held for those killed and injured in a knife attack at a children's dance and yoga class in Southport. Some streets resembled a war zone on Wednesday morning as rioters near a mosque attacked police with bricks, trash cans and street signs the night prior. According to Merseyside Police, more than 50 police officers were hurt in a sustained and vicious attack, and that the violence was believed to have involved English Defence League supporters. Local politicians said many of those involved in the violence came from outside the area, while the Liverpool Region Mosque Network said a minority of people were trying to use the incident to spread hatred. The unrest followed a shocking attack on Monday in which multiple children were stabbed, with police blaming false online claims about the suspect's identity for fueling the violence. US Vice President Kamala Harris has erased former President Donald Trump's lead in the race for the White House, with the Democratic and Republican standard-bearers now locked in a dead heat. Newly released polling on Tuesday showed Harris had closed the gap with Trump, both nationwide and in key battleground states, since becoming the de facto Democratic nominee. According to a poll of registered voters, Harris is ahead of Trump in 4 key battleground states, while the former president is ahead in 2. It said Harris leads Trump in Michigan by 11 percentage points and by 2 points in Arizona, Wisconsin and Nevada, while Trump has a 4-point advantage in Pennsylvania and 2-point lead in North Carolina. If the outcome of the poll was replicated on Election Day, the candidate who won Georgia would be elected president. Relentless downpours and howling winds hampered Wednesday's search for survivors of landslides that struck Indian tea plantations and killed at least 160 people in southern India. More than 5,500 people have been rescued, while another 186 people were injured by the landslides that hit hilly areas in Kerala state's Wayanad district. It was reported that another 187 people were still unaccounted for. Meanwhile, the Indian Army is now constructing a temporary bridge after the main bridge linking one of the worst affected areas was swept away by the landslides. Kerala's disaster agency said more rain and strong winds were forecast for the week, with the likelihood of damage to unsafe structures elsewhere in the state. ZGR powers into last 2024 Paris Olympics after this breather.
Wanita hari ini. Ira, perasan tak kita ni selalu suka jaga dan puaskan hati orang lain.
Betul juga tu, apa kata kita sayangi dan jadi diri sendiri.
Terung ada macam-macam jenis tau.
Jom kita masak terung.
Sekarang ni ada banyak kejadian yang tidak diingini berlaku.
Ayuh kita persiapkan diri untuk elak tragedi.
Campur tangan orang lain boleh rosakkan hubungan.
Pasti ada cara untuk elakkannya.
Dalam rumah tangga, kenalah sama-sama memberi dan menerima.
Barulah rumah tangga bahagia.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui tonton. Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
We're back with sports. Football, the Super League. 3 matches were played on Wednesday night. Selangor FC were held to a 1-1 draw against Sri Pahang FC, while Johor Darul Takzim FC shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw with PDRM FC. At the KLFA Stadium, Kuala Lumpur City FC claimed a 3-0 victory over Sabah FC. The City Boys opened the scoring just before half-time after Sabah's Ko Kwang Min scored an own goal. Paulo Josue extended their advantage when he slotted home 1 minute after the hour mark before Zafri Yahya put the result beyond doubt in the 88th minute, sealing the comfortable 3-0 win for KL City. With the results, KL City are in third place with 11 points, a point ahead of the Rhinos. Moving on to the 2024 Paris Olympics, national top men's singles shuttler Li Zijia secured his spot in the knockout stage after topping Group G. The world number 7 faced little resistance as he notched a 21-10, 21-13 victory over Spain's Pablo Abian. Both Zijia and Abian had earlier clinched a win each by beating Viren Netasinghe of Sri Lanka in the 3-man pool. The 2021 All-England champion will next face either reigning bronze medalist Anthony Ginting of Indonesia or home favourite Toma Junior Popov for a place in the quarterfinals. And earlier, national women's singles shuttler Go Jin-wei's campaign ended on Wednesday after she was knocked out by South Korea's Kim Ga-eun in her final Group H match. The 24-year-old, who recovered from losing the first set 17-21, managed to put up a strong fight to take the second set 22-20. In the rubber, Jin-wei was 13-18 down before fighting her way back to hold 2 match points at 20-18. However, it was the Korean world number 17 who held her nerves to emerge victorious with a 23-21 score. The defeat saw world number 32 Jin-wei settle for the second spot in the 3-women pool, paving the way for Ga-eun to qualify for the last 16 as group winner. Meanwhile, national archer Ariana Nordania Muhammadzari's adventure ended after she was beaten by Italian Chiara Rebagliati in the women's recurve individual event on Wednesday. The 19-year-old produced an impressive performance before going down 5-6 to 2022 world champion Rebagliati in the first round. Ariana was making her Olympic debut in Paris and thus joins Shakira Mashaikh on board the flight home. Only Olympic debutant Nurul Azrina Muhammad Fazil is left in the fray, and she is scheduled to play Elif Bera Gokir of Turkey next. Meanwhile, American Simone Biles clinched her 5th Olympic gold medal as she made a triumphant return to the women's gymnastics team final, reinforcing her status as one of the world's greatest athletes. With the crowd rallying behind Biles and her teammates in the absence of the French team that failed to qualify for the final, Biles finished with a total of 171.296, an impressive 5.802 points ahead of second-place Italy. In the rugby event, Stacey Walker dived into the corner to clinch back-to-back Olympic women's sevens titles for New Zealand. The favourites proved to be at their best as they claimed a 19-12 win over Canada in the final. In another action, France's Cassandra Beaugrand won gold in the women's triathlon, clinching the country's first ever Olympic medal in the individual triathlon. Her time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 55 seconds edged Julie Darren of Switzerland by 6 seconds. Meanwhile, top-ranked Italy silenced a partisan crowd at the Grand Palais as they claimed the women's Épée gold medal by beating arch-rivals France 30-29 in a high-octane sudden-death contest between the two most decorated nations in the sport. Nightline draws to a close. For now, we leave you with visuals of the celebrations of Hari Pahlawan held on Wednesday at the Dataran Pahlawan in Putrajaya. With that, I'm Muhammed Hamdan. Thanks for tuning in and be safe.